I'm at a point in my life like we all grew up in the streets and we try to be better, but they labeled us felons, sent us back to jail. I had to fight against that the whole time to gain my respect and be who I am. What's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
I'm at a point in my life that a lot of us can relate to. We grew up in the streets, tried to evolve, tried to do better, but the world already had a label ready for us. Felons, trouble, lost causes. They pushed us back toward the same cages we were fighting to escape. I had to push against that narrative every single day just to earn my respect and to be the man I needed to be for my son. That fight never stopped. So when I hear someone say, "You really doing it, you earned this." You put in the work that hits different. That's pride, that's love, and that matters. Lately, social feeds have been heating up again with a storyline that feels way too familiar. People are pushing the idea that this situation has grown beyond gossip, hinting that it's crossed into territory where someone official has to be watching. There's still no public confirmation of any agency involvement, no paperwork, no statements. But what is obvious is how fast this angle is spreading, and how consistently Meek Mill's name keeps getting pulled into the same conversations as Diddy's. And it's not just the usual, they ran in the same circles, talk anymore. The version gaining traction suggests something deeper, that Meek wasn't only socially close, but may have been present during moments that to outsiders looked questionable. Moments that raised eyebrows. Moments where silence, intentional or not, became part of the story. Whether that narrative is fair or not is still up for debate, but the fact that it's being repeated this loudly, this often, is what has people paying attention.
Champagne was spiked, son. Like, all the champagne was spiked. Everybody was passed the fuck out. I don't drink, so I was playing that shit.
That part is already established. What's driving the conversation now isn't new evidence. It's the way people are revisiting old clips, resurfacing posts, and reinterpreting past accusations through a new lens. That's exactly why this topic refuses to stay buried. Every time it fades, it gets reignited. And the reason it keeps catching fire is pretty straightforward. Meek has publicly defended Diddy at a time when Diddy has been facing relentless backlash across every major platform. To a lot of viewers, that kind of loyalty doesn't read as neutral, it reads as suspicious. The way it's being framed is simple. If someone keeps stepping up, even when it costs them reputation-wise, people assume there has to be a reason. So the real question becomes less about opinions and more about separation. What's actually documented? What's being inferred? And what's just rumor that's been repeated so many times it starts sounding like fact? That's where things get messy. What keeps getting replayed is how the conversation blew up last year after legal claims connected to Lil Rod pulled renewed attention toward Diddy's inner circle. In those filings, Lil Rod described what was presented as a music-focused trip, with the stated purpose being album work. According to his claims, that tone allegedly shifted fast. The environment, he said, stopped feeling centered on music altogether. He went on to allege that during repeated party-like settings, he felt unusually disoriented at times, like he couldn't fully track what was happening around him. He suggested moments where boundaries weren't respected and where control felt blurred. Those statements exist as allegations inside a legal dispute, not as confirmed findings. But online, nuance didn't survive. People treated those claims like a missing puzzle piece, something that finally explained everything. And that's when it spread. The situation escalated further because the same dispute included claims that Diddy tried to pressure him in ways he didn't consent to, and that other high-profile names were mentioned as examples of how people supposedly gain access, protection, or advantage in the industry. Again, that's what was alleged, not what was proven, but the internet doesn't wait for verdicts. It reacts. And once those names entered the conversation, the scope of the story expanded overnight. From there, it stopped being a discussion and turned into a full-blown mystery hunt. Every old interview clip became context. Every photo, every interaction, every moment of silence became evidence. The more people dug, the darker the narrative sounded. Some people stayed quiet, others didn't. Usher, for example, didn't publicly engage with the chatter in any meaningful way that people could latch onto. Meek, on the other hand, responded fast, and the intensity of that response became its own headline. He shut the narrative down completely, calling it false and saying anyone pushing those claims was lying. He framed it clearly. If anyone in the industry had ever tried something out of pocket with him, he would have exposed it immediately. No hesitation, no ambiguity. He leaned heavily on his reputation, saying people who know him know how he moves and that he doesn't entertain weird situations or play those games. That response split the audience straight down the middle. Supporters saw it as him protecting his name and setting boundaries. Critics read the same energy as defensive, arguing that the force of his denial only kept the spotlight fixed on him. Either way, the outcome was the same. The conversation didn't die, it evolved. The silence around some names, the volume from others, the lack of official confirmation, and the endless speculation all blended together. And then came the next wave, unverified, fragmented, and louder than before. Accounts tied to people who once worked security around Diddy began resurfacing claims, saying they had recorded Meek and Diddy in the same setting. From there, the debate quickly boiled down to a single question: do the voices sound familiar? That clip, like so many others in this saga, has never been publicly verified. Nothing about it has been confirmed, yet that didn't stop it from spreading. Once a rumor comes with audio, even a snippet, people start treating it like proof. And in the digital age, proof doesn't need a stamp of legitimacy. It only needs to be shareable. From there, timelines exploded. Everyone started digging for anything they could find, layering context over context and drawing lines that may or may not exist. Old videos, old photos, even casual posts that were never intended to be significant were dragged back into the spotlight. One clip in particular caught fire. A video Diddy had posted showing Meek casually relaxing after a party. It resurfaced over and over, shared, re-shared, and dissected like it held some hidden meaning that no one could confirm. Every like, every comment, every timestamp became a talking point. And just like that, the story started to feel bigger than it was. What was once private or incidental now read like evidence to those watching. Context disappeared, replaced by interpretation and speculation. Every tiny gesture, every laugh, every glance became part of an imagined narrative. The clip alone didn't prove anything, but in the eyes of the internet, that didn't matter. It had audio, that was enough. Then naturally, the chase intensified. People started piecing together timelines, trying to connect that single post to other events. They looked for patterns where there might have been none, imagining motives where none could be proven. Each resurfaced snippet, each recycled rumor, each suggestion of proximity became its own layer, feeding a cycle that was impossible to stop. And just like that, a single question, do the voices sound familiar, morphed into a full-blown digital hunt for answers, none of them official, all of them urgent. In the end, it's a perfect example of how quickly a story grows once people attach certainty to uncertainty. One unverified clip, combined with selective memories and old posts, can spiral into weeks of speculation. And the curious thing is, everyone knows it's still just a rumor. But by then, the narrative has a life of its own, and no amount of official silence can contain it.
What's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
On its own, none of it proves anything. But once blogs and social feeds framed it as awkward, the framing took on a life of its own, and that pushed the theory even further. People started reading into every detail, overanalyzing Meek's social media activity as if following or unfollowing someone was some secret coded message. Normal online behavior suddenly became suspicious. At that point, the story wasn't just about facts or truth anymore. It became, why does every thread keep circling back to him? And you'd think with that much heat on his name, Meek might step back and let things cool. But instead, the conversation spilled over into a new live feud, something happening right in public. and once again, Meek found himself at the center. Christian Combs and 50 Cent started going back and forth openly. It kicked off when Christian dropped a diss aimed at 50, responding to 50's comments on Diddy. In that track, Christian also suggested his father had evidence that authorities supposedly hadn't uncovered yet. Instantly, the internet debated whether that line was real, exaggerated, or just a diss track flex meant to sound intimidating. 50, of course, didn't let it slide quietly. He turned it into a full-blown spectacle, mocking Christian at every turn. He said Christian was trying too hard to act tough, implying he was playing a role, and the internet ate it up. Every post, every reply, every clip became fuel, making the argument louder and more public by the hour. Then Meek jumped in. Even though the feud wasn't directly about him, he responded to one of 50's posts, accusing him of moving federal, implying that the streets already knew what was going on. He questioned why 50 was targeting a younger guy, threw in personal jabs, and mentioned he was celebrating his son's birthday at the time. He framed it like a lesson, telling people not to chase negativity and pointing out that some creators profit off tearing others down. He also added that he doesn't like seeing black people laughing at other black people getting indicted. That reply instantly became a new battleground. Some people sided with Meek, seeing it as a principled stand. Others argued that he was just pouring gasoline on the fire. Every post became a screenshot, every screenshot became analysis, and the cycle kept spinning without pause. 50, unsurprisingly, didn't leave it alone. He fired back fast and dragged older rumors into the spotlight, using the angle he knows hits hardest: embarrassment. He mocked Meek's momentum, took a shot at his sales, and implied that being on vacation was inappropriate for someone in his position. Then he dropped a line dripping with sarcasm, framing Meek as blindly loyal to his circle. Blogs ran the story immediately. The moment everyone expected came next: Meek's response. He hit back hard on the sales comment, clearly irritated. He tried to set the record straight, referencing his numbers, explaining one project as a strategic move tied to contracts and relationships, and dismissing 50's whole vibe as off. The energy was real, but it didn't slow the narrative down because 50 escalated again. He posted an older clip of Meek singing along to a love song while standing near Diddy, captioning it to make Meek look loyal and supportive, clearly intended to embarrass him and reignite old rumors. The post went viral immediately because it matched the storyline people were already obsessed with. And just when it seemed like the feud couldn't get messier, the audio controversy resurfaced. Jaguar Wright weighed in, claiming the clip people were arguing over wasn't actually released by the person it was originally attributed to, adding another layer of confusion and giving the cycle yet another reason to spin.
And then eating milk, running around, talking about expensive pain in his eyes.
Wait, this is Philly you're talking about now. Wait a minute, Jack.
Fuck me.
Wait a minute.
He's a fucking Fruit Loop. He Diddy-fied.
This is Philly.
He's a deep fried period. He Diddy-fied. He Diddy-fried. He the Diddy do our bop. Fuck me. Real rap.
You think that audio that they put out was real?
Yeah, that was him. Nicki put that out there. That Nicki recorded that at the freak off in the Calabasas. She been waiting to drop that shit with Meek.
Oh, man.
She just wasn't gonna tell nobody it was Diddy. But now that Diddy out there, why not?
If the source story is shaky, the next question naturally becomes, who put it out there and why? What was the purpose behind it? That's exactly what people started asking once Jaguar added a new claim that sent timelines spinning again. She alleged, without any publicly provided proof, that the audio people were debating might have been recorded by Nicki Minaj, back when, and just like that, the speculation chain grew another link. That single statement reignited the conversation, causing everyone to dig deeper into timelines, cross-reference old posts, and comb through years of content. People began connecting dots that may not have even existed, trying to determine if the audio was authentic, manipulated, or completely misattributed. It was the kind of claim that doesn't need verification to take hold. It only needs to be repeated in the right context. And once it hit social feeds, it quickly became another piece of the ever-expanding puzzle. From there, every angle was up for debate. Who was in the room? Who had access? What motives were in play? Even vague connections were blown up into headlines. Suddenly, what might have been an isolated, unverified snippet transformed into a narrative with layers, feeding months of analysis, hot takes, and endless commentary. And because the claim involved a high-profile name, it automatically drew more attention and more scrutiny, with every post and every thread amplifying the effect. By the time people were done theorizing about that single line, it had mutated into a story of its own. The may have been recorded by caveat was often lost in translation, replaced by certainty in comments, screenshots, and video breakdowns. Social media treats repetition like proof, and repetition is all this cycle ever needed to gain momentum. The rumor didn't just survive, it thrived, becoming a central talking point for every new post, reply, and thread that touched the original feud. And just like that, the narrative widened again. Even without confirmation, even without evidence, the moment Jaguar spoke, the speculation picked up speed. People weren't asking whether it was true, they were asking what it meant, how it fit into every other old clip, every old post, every past interaction. It was another example of how, in this story, one statement, unverified though it may be, can set off a chain reaction that feels unstoppable.
So then who's the guy who's claiming he recorded it?
Oh, somebody that got paid?
Yeah, he said like I was standing
somebody
outside the door.
that got paid.
Yeah.
She suggested that this may have played a role in why that relationship ended so quickly, and she implied that nothing was ever released publicly out of fear of potential blowback if it escalated. None of that has been verified, its commentary being circulated, but as always, the reaction online treated it like a bombshell. Once it hit feeds, people ran with it, dissecting every possible angle, adding their own interpretations, and layering new theories on top of old rumors. From there, comment sections went exactly where you'd expect. Some argued that Meek was so determined to succeed in the industry that he tolerated anything happening around him, no matter how uncomfortable. Others framed it as a mentor-type dynamic gone too far, suggesting a relationship that may have become unhealthy over time. And as usual, this speculation stacked itself on top of claims, viral clips, and old posts, none of it confirmed fact, yet it gained traction like gospel. Every reply, every screenshot, every discussion made the narrative feel more real, even when proof was non-existent. The cycle is relentless. A single comment can reignite a story, and one clip can fuel weeks of debate. Old rumors get recycled as if they're fresh revelations, while social media treats repetition as credibility. It's a system that doesn't need verification to thrive, it only needs attention. And right now, attention is exactly what this story has. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think about everything being said about Diddy and Meek? Do you believe there are actual recordings or receipts connected to this? Or is it all just rumors and clout chasing spiraling out of control? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share your perspective, and let the conversation continue. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you want to stay caught up with every twist of this story. And if you're ready for even more drama, click here to watch another insanely messy video. I'll see you in the next one.